Hi, I'm Barbie, but she calls me Malibu.
And I'm Barbie, but she calls me Brooklyn.
Like us, so many of you have big dreams,
Problems to solve,
fears to conquer,
and cool stuff you want to learn.
We're here to listen and connect you with remarkable people from all over the world who are experts in their fields.
They've chased their dreams, shattered glass ceilings, and made history.
And they didn't do it alone.
Nope. They asked for help when they needed it, and now they're here to help you. Right here on
The Barbie Podcast. Welcome back to the Barbie Podcast, listeners.
Hi there, Malibu. I've been thinking.
What's up?
I feel like we should think of something cool to call our audience. Thoughts? Suggestions?
Oh, yeah, good idea. Lots of other pods do that.
There was one I was listening to the other day. They call their listeners Pod Squad.
Oh, that's fire. Ours could be fun like that, too. Maybe, Curious Cats. You know, because they ask us questions.
I kind of like that. Or, it could be something inspiring like Dreamers and Believers.
Oh, Dream Team.
Yes, so good. Dream Team. I love it. Should we test it out?
Totally.
Hey, Dream Team. How's it going?
What's up, Dream Team? Yeah, it's perfect. Oh, we've got to read our question. We have to leave to meet our special guest soon.
Right. Here it is. Hi, Barbie and Barbie. I love reading books. I've read 42 this year so far. That's a lot, right? I've read so many, I think I could write one myself. But every time I open up my notebook, I can't think of anything to write. I think I have what they call writer's block. Can you help? Do you have any cool ideas to write about? Love, Blank Page Kid. Okay, first off, Blank Page Kid, how cool that you've decided to write your own book.
Oh, for real. Writer's block can be frustrating, but we know the perfect person to help inspire you and anyone else who needs a little nudge with their creative writing.
She is the world-renowned Chilean American author, drumroll please, Isabel Allende.
She is amazing and one of the most widely read Spanish-speaking authors in the world.
She's written over 20 fiction novels, which have been translated into more than 40 languages with more than 77 million copies sold. She is an icon, and we get to meet her today. Can you believe it?
It's so exciting. Dream Team, we've already sent her the question from Blank Page Kid, and she agreed to help.
She had this great idea to meet at Topanga Beach, which isn't too far from here. We're gonna write together.
My dad said he'd drive us and help with the recording gear. He's a big Isabel Allende fan. Oh, that's him. Coming, Dad. Oh, I am so nervous.
I know, me too. But we have all our questions ready, and we've got our notebooks, pens, and the newspaper clipping that she requested we bring. We are good to go.
We've got this. Now, all we have to do is move this whole microphone setup to the beach. Okay, you got that?
I'm good.
All right, I'll hold this part.
Oh,
Careful. Oh, my bad. Okay.
We're good.
We got this.
We got this.
We don't got this. And we're back with the incredible Isabel Allende.
Thank you so much for meeting us here, Isabel, and for agreeing to be on the Barbie podcast.
I'm very happy to be here, and thank you for having me.
So, what do you think? How can we help Blank Page Kid with their writer's block?
You know, as my friend, author Annie Lamott says, there is no such a thing as a writer's block. Your reservoir is just empty, and you need to go and fill it.
Our reservoirs are empty. I love that. But how do we fill them up?
So many ways. You can get ideas by playing a game, doing something you enjoy, or going somewhere new. Me, I have a notebook in my purse at all times. And when I see or hear something interesting, I make a note.
Hence why we brought our notebooks and pens with us today, I guess?
You guessed right. An idea for a story starts as a tiny seed inside you. Today we're going to do a writing activity that plants that seed by observing the world around us and taking notes.
Dream Team, You can do this activity in your own neighborhood too. Even if you're not writing a whole book, anyone can enjoy writing.
Yeah, you can write a letter to a friend, get your feelings out in a journal, or write a short story, like we're going to do today.
I'm pumped.
Same.
Good. Okay, let's look around this beach and take in all the details. Then, in our notebooks, we're going to list 5 things that catch our attention. They don't have to be big things, just details that are interesting to you.
That person's beach umbrella is interesting. I love the pattern of red and white shapes.
Wonderful. Write it down.
Oh, that palm tree has a cool shape. And I like that lady's orange surfboard.
Write those down in your notebooks, too. Oh, I can see a sandpiper pecking at something along the shore as the waves retreat. He sure seems interested in something, and that is interesting to me.
Writing it down. Okay, that's 4. We need 1 more.
Look. What about this beautiful purple shell right here?
That's 5. Now, from that list, let's decide on the thing that inspires us the most.
How about the purple shell Brooklyn found? I can't stop thinking about it. Like, how did it get here?
Yeah, something about this shell makes me want to know more about it.
I agree. So now we will begin building a universe around it with details. In these details, we will create the setting where the characters in our story will come to life. Did you bring a newspaper clipping with you?
I've got it right here. We found this article online about a kangaroo who escaped from the zoo and ran into some farm fields in Oshawa, Canada. Does that work?
Well, as long as something calls to you, it works. Okay, so our setting is farm fields in Oshawa, Canada. And our main character is...
The kangaroo?
Yes, good. Who wants to start us off and write a paragraph about the kangaroo finding the purple shell in the middle of the farm field?
Go for it, Brooklyn.
I have no idea where this will end up, but I'm game to find out.
While Brooklyn's writing, can I ask you some questions about how you started your writing career, Isabel?
Of course. The funny thing is, I was not meant to be a fiction writer. I was a journalist, and I was very happy being a journalist. But when I was a young woman, I got a call from my grandfather who was living in Chile, where I am from. He was dying. Even though I desperately wanted to, I could not return to say goodbye.
That must have been devastating. Could you share with us why you couldn't return to Chile?
Several years before that, the Chilean military took over the government by force when my cousin, Salvador Allende, was the president. I had to get out of my country very quickly, and I fled to Venezuela as a political refugee. By the time my grandfather was dying, my family and I still did not feel it was safe to return to Chile.
How heartbreaking. I read that you decided to write him a letter, even though you knew it wouldn't reach him in time.
Yes, I wanted to share back with him all the stories that he told me as a child. And the first one that came to mind was the story of my great aunt Rosa. And once I started writing the letter, I couldn't stop.
And that letter became your very first novel, The House of the Spirits.
Yes, I didn't plan it that way, but that's what happened. I wrote down everything that mattered to me. The past, the country I had lost, my family, my grandmother, my grandfather, and the stories he told me. Everything was in that book. It showed the world who I was and where I came from. It gave me a voice.
And you've used that voice to write so many more novels since, like A Long Paddle of the Sea, Ava Luna, the YA novel City of the Beasts, which is my personal favorite, and then your most recent, The Wind Knows My Name, just to name a few.
Yes, I have written a lot of books since The House of the Spirits, and I encourage Blank Page Kid and anyone else who might be listening to find their voice through writing as well. Barbie, it seems like you finished your first few sentences. Would you like to read them to us?
Okay, here goes. She hopped as fast as she could through the spacious fields. She hoped that the direction she chose was leading her right toward Australia, where she knew she belonged. Joni the kangaroo stopped in her tracks when her foot hit something sharp. "Ouch!" she called out. She lifted her foot and looked at the object. Right there in the middle of this grassy field in Canada, miles and miles away from the ocean, was a tiny, sparkling purple seashell.
That's a wonderful start. I love that you gave the kangaroo a name and you made her talk. You gave her a voice.
Great job, Brooklyn.
Now let's switch.
Here's the notebook and pen, Malibu.
Thanks, Brooklyn.
Barbie, I'd like you to add a few more sentences to the story and make the purple shell change in some way.
Got it. Okay, let me think.
Speaking of writing giving you a voice, you are such a champion of strong, interesting women characters, and you are certainly a strong and interesting woman yourself. What was that like for you growing up?
I was born in a time and environment where being a woman was not to my advantage. I saw that my mother didn't have any power, money, or independence. I didn't want that for myself. I wanted to be like my grandfather, who had a car, the keys of the house, money, and who made all the decisions.
I bet that didn't go over so well at the time.
No, my mother would say to me, "Yes, I understand. You can do everything, but do it quietly. Don't make a fuss." And I would say, "Mother, how can you have a revolution without making noise? It's impossible. You have to articulate, say things so that people acknowledge the problem at hand."
How did that make you feel?
Angry and frustrated, but that frustration can be good. We can use it as fuel to move us forward into something positive. Every revolution starts with anger or frustration at something unfair. But we have to channel those feelings into something constructive and useful, like telling your story.
Speaking of telling your story, Malibu, are you ready to read the next part?
Yes, I got so caught up in listening to you that I almost forgot. The kangaroo couldn't contain her curiosity. She bent over to get a better look at the shell, ever so gently brushing at it with her nose. Then suddenly, a gust of wind swirled around her. And was that the sound of rushing water? She closed her eyes, thinking this must be a dream. But when she opened them, the sun was shining. There was sand beneath her feet and an entire ocean in front of her. A woman with an orange surfboard ran past her. Joni looked down and a little sandpiper bird was pecking at the waves. Excuse me, Joni asked the sandpiper. Could you tell me where we are? We're in Melbourne, Australia, the sandpiper replied. Australia? Joni was home.
A wonderful addition, Malibu. You gave the shell some magic, and it brought Joni back home. And I love the way you included the other details we found interesting here. The two of you can keep going with this story afterward. If you want, you can even add in another character.
Ooh, maybe the zookeeper finds their way to Australia to try and catch Joni.
That would be exciting. Every story is a new adventure.
And today has certainly been an adventure for us. We had so much fun getting to know you and getting to write with you, Isabel.
I had a lot of fun, too.
Thank you so much, Isabel. I hope the notebook activity and your story have inspired Blank Page Kid and the rest of our listeners. They certainly inspired us.
Dream Team, remember, if your creative reservoir is empty, go fill it up.
And get inspired by the little details all around you. We'll catch you next week on
The Barbie Podcast.